Hello friends, I am back. I did it 2 weeks in a row, yay. Thank you for stopping in. If this is your first time to my channel, if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I want to thank you guys so much for your response. From my last video, I said it was Flosstube 61, but it was actually Flosstube 62. So this is Flosstube 63. I think that's right. The description will be right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for your awesome comments on my last video. There's so many new subscribers, so thank you so much for coming to my channel. It was very nervous putting out kind of where I was within my cross stitch, and it is so nice to see that so many people are kind of on the same page that I am. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support and love and all of that good stuff. So I did last week my first floss tube in 7 months, and then right after I did my whip parade, and it was meant to be back-to-back videos on the same day, but there was issues uploading it. It got done, so hopefully this video will not take 24 to 48 hours to upload. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so on my whip parade, as we went through my whip parade, if you've not watched it, go over and check it out. It should be the video right before this one. I went through all my whips and figured out that I have got a reoccurring problem. I have a ton of whips and not a lot of progress, and just frustrated about how to get all the stitches and how to get all the pieces done. Because I love all of my pieces and I want them all done. I did not UFO, but I think 4 things. So I think that's pretty good. In 4 years, I'm not, UFO, but 4 things. I think it's pretty cool. So I did listen to all you guys' comments and your suggestions. So thank you so much for sharing them with me. And I really think I've got like a hybrid solution to what every one of you guys has kind of mentioned. So I'm going to kind of show it to you. The question that everybody asked me is, did you figure out how many whips that you have? The answer is yes and no, all at the same time. Yeah, and I'm missing a spreadsheet, so let me pause it and get my spreadsheet. Hang on. Okay, so got it. It was in my bag. I'm good. So I sit down and listed every single whip that I've got, and I'm looking at my sheet here. I'm a spreadsheet girl. I love some spreadsheet. Anyway, so I started 2025 with 63 whips. However, 10 of them are technically restarts. Like I need to switch the fabric. There was actually 2 that I had not even started that was in there. The Barnard Christmas and the 4th of July rules. I was doing the bonus chart that was in there. So when I take out the ones that I'm restarting because of the fabric and the 2 that I technically had not actually started, I have 53 whips. My goal is to finish 23 things in 2025, and I have 11 that is really close to a finish. So if I get the 11 that I've got close to a finish finished, I'll have 14 other things to get there. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, had to get the dogs. They were barking. That was gonna drive me nuts. So anyway, I went through and listed out all 63 of my whips. This part is done on a notebook, yes, because I am a pen and paper girl. Even though I love a good spreadsheet, I love this too. So what I did is I took all of my projects and named them, and then I gave them like a theme. So it's either like patriotic or seasonal or Sunday or religious. So some of them fit into a couple categories like tiny towns, also Valentine's. So I did this through the whole thing. And then if you'll notice, there's different symbols. So I assigned symbols to everything so that I can very quickly at a glance see without having to go through this whole title thing. So like See, that's a kit. That's a kit. Every one of that theme is labeled the same. So it's really easy for me to identify, you know, what the project is. Then I went back and looked at some other videos. I read you guys' recommendations and I thought, okay, so how am I going to make a plan with this? Now, 2025, I do have 4 new starts already started. So that's bringing my total to 53, 54, 55, 56, 57 whips that I have got. So first of all, I decided that every day during the season, I'm going to put a thread a day in one of my seasonal projects. So the Hello Spring that I started in May, I have to put at least 1 thread in that project or another project that is in spring, because we're in spring right now. That's my thread a day. If I want to do more than 1 thread, fine, but I have to do a thread a day. So I have started documenting, because writing things down holds me accountable to myself. I have started writing down the days that I'm actually doing my thread a day. Then, whatever day of the week it is, I made myself a little calendar. If you don't like the stats part of all of this, feel free to skip. But I know so many of you had gave me feedback. I wanted to share with you what solution I figured out. So a lot of you had said that they had seen folks doing certain projects on certain days of the week. So this was my take on that. I did realize that Brenda with Handwork Maniac kind of did something like that. So I went over and watched hers just to get an idea. And so this is my schedule. So Sunday are all of my religious pieces, my Jesus pieces, my Last Supper, anything like that. Monday is Samplers and Quakers, and that's every Monday. Tuesday is seasonal. Wednesday alternates between Christmas and Thanksgiving. Thursdays are kits. Friday and Saturday are miscellaneous. The reason that I did this was if I went through a week and I didn't get something done, like I've had a busy work week, the miscellaneous would give me enough time to go back and catch up on what I missed for that week. But then it would also make it to where if I was really bored, I could just work on projects that I loved. So using these, I have every project covered, because if it's, you know, if it's not a sampler or a Quaker, or if it's something like patriotic is not on here, that technically could be under seasonal, or it could be kit, because I've got a God Bless the USA is a kit, but it's also patriotic. If it doesn't fit, then I can work on it on Friday or Saturday. I'm also not being rigid where that's the only project that I work on that day. So like if it's a Tuesday and it's a seasonal piece, if I work like an episode or 2 on TV on it and then I want to work on something else, fine. That's how I measure my time on my projects, is how many episodes I've watched. Yes, seriously. So far this week, since I figured this out, I think I figured it out Wednesday of last week. I've kind of been working with it and it's worked good. I have kept every single day. I've kept all of my goals and I'm so excited. All right, then I took that list where I figured out a category for everything and then I did a spreadsheet. So I put all my beach projects here, my camping projects, my Christmas projects. What is this? Easter religious, fall, Halloween. So all of them are sorted like this by category. So let's say that it is, let me go back to my calendar again. Say it's a Thursday and I'm like, okay, today is my day to work on a kit. I go on here and I look and I say, okay, here is all of my kits. So I pull one of these and I work on it. And I love it. I love it so far. This will be changing over time, like when I add new projects, when I take projects off. But I'm loving it. I've really had a good time with it this week. I don't feel like it's outlandish to achieve. I don't feel like I'm stuck doing, like, if I had to do 300 stitches on it and I'm not in the mood to stitch, it's okay. Because quite honestly, I'm a really fast stitcher if I just sit down and stitch, because I stitch two-handed. So in about 2 episodes, I can blow through 300 stitches easily, unless it's a lot of crazy color changes. So that is my solution from everything that happened in my whip parade. If you're really confused even further, go over and watch the whip parade and you'll see what I'm saying. But again, all of you guys contributed. You helped me figure this out. Once I did figure it out, some new folks had commented and chimed in. I was like, they really reiterated what I had figured out. And I was like, yes, this is it. This is my ultimate solution. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right, so now for what I have stitched on this week. 10 minutes in. That wasn't too bad. So, first of all, what do I want to get? Let's get my tiny, tiny little bit of haul out of the way. I did not purchase but 2 things this week. I was very proud of myself. I wanted another Sunday stitch to work on. And so I went on Amazon and found this piece. And I was so excited for it to come. I literally counted the days, watched the tracking. It came. The top of it was taped shut. So I was a little, when I first seen it, red flags went up, but I thought it's okay. So I come in and I unloaded it. I have got the floss, the fabric, the instructions, and this. And then you take it off. No pattern. So I reached out to the person that sold it to me. They were very kind. She said, yes, I remember the top of it was taped. She said, I got it at an estate sale. She said, normally I check it. That one got by me. I didn't check it. She said, I'll issue the refund immediately. So it was a very streamlined process. I'm so bummed. So bummed. I really wanted to stitch that piece. So I guess when my refund hits, I'll have to just buy another kit. But I'm like, now I've got floss and I have fabric. I'm almost wondering if that's my sign I should do it on a bigger count, and that way I'd have enough floss to do it all. I don't know. That's my thoughts. And then my other thing is, I will put their name down below. A new person found my channel, and I'm so sorry. I'm horrible with names. And she has a Flosstube, and I went over and watched her Flosstube, and she is stitching this piece. Blessed is the life that finds joy in the journey. And I love that. I love it so much. I've got something right here on my wall. It says, focus on the journey, not the destination. And so this was right up my alley. I'm really trying to change a lot of things in my life. A lot of things are changing, and I'm grateful for them, but this is going to be stitched in remembrance of this season of my life. And I think it's a cute little small Quaker looking thing that I can put up, and you know, it'll be cute. So I can't wait to start this, but it did come this week, and it's got the floss and the beads, and then the instructions and stuff are actually in it. So was tickled with that. That was my purchases. That's it. I did good. Okay, I made me another project folder. I did the same thing that I did with the one last week that I told you that I wasn't impressed with. This is the same size. It's a big size. I used the same material. I just wanted to be sure, hey, is it really that material that I don't like, or is it just that I wasn't pleased with the overall binding situation? So this one, I did put a magnetic clasp on this one. It has got a zipper. Yeah, here's the zipper right here. A zipper, and then a pocket back behind, and then this is a pocket here. And I'm wanting to put, when I'm stitching, I love to have a piece of felt to lay my fabric or my threads on. And so I'm gonna put one of those here that can lift up on itself. That's what I'm planning to do. But it's really big because this is gonna be my tiny town folder. Every one of my tiny towns is gonna go in this one. I thought this fabric was really appropriate for a tiny town theme. And I should be able to hold, what do I have, 4 or 5 of them? We'll see. That's the goal. So I stitched that up this week. I did have much better luck with binding this week. This is the back, and I'm not pleased with that, but it did much better. I did not make my own binding. I pre-purchased it. Everything is the same size on the inside and the outside. Overall, very pleased with the binding on it. Still am not thrilled with the stuff in here, but I'm learning. I have a whole roll of quilt batting, and it's hung up downstairs where my stitch room used to be. And I need to take it off the wall and bring it up here and hang it up and then be able to use it. But I've not got that done this week. But I'm going to be using quilt batting and actually quilting them moving forward, because I figured out that I don't like this stuff. Okay, that's enough of that. Stitching time. Okay. So on my thread a day, I worked on Hello Spring by Primrose Cottage Stitches. This is the freebie from being on their email thing. They come out with a new chart this week. It is absolutely adorable. Let me see if I can see it. Hang on. Let me see if I can grab it for you. Hold up. Found it. You're lucky. So here's what it looks like. It is adorable. I'm not sponsored or nothing about Primrose Cottage. I just love the fact that they give you cute little free charts like this. Is that not adorable? This was for Mother's Day. Get on their email list, guys. So I got that one this week. But this is Hello Spring. This is what I stitched on this week. And you've already seen the word spring. I'm not going to take it out because it's a pain in the derriere to get it back in here. So I got its little petal and started on the words. This petal right here took me 4 episodes to get right. I don't know what it is. I triple counted, double counted. Somehow everything was going good from here all the way up and around, and somewhere up in here I got off to where I was like one thread off, and I took it out and took it out and took it out and took it out, and I could not get it right, and it drove me insane. Finally I fudged it and said forget it. So the only thing is, if you'll notice, my H here is a little bit longer on this side than this side because there's supposed to be a stitch between, and if I'd have brought it down, it would have been touching this. So I'm fudging it. So I did work on that one. Slow and steady wins the race, they say. All right, let's stick it back in here. Next is Happy Camper. I had not touched this piece. This was my 18-year-old piece. So it came with a piece of white Aida. This was a Walmart kit by Zweigart. It says, with Jesus, I'm a happy camper. I had started it. It came with white Aida. Didn't like the stiff white Aida. So restarted it on a fabric that I dyed, and it had maybe 9 stitches. If you want to see where it was before, go over and watch my WIP parade. But I did get work on it this week. I really enjoyed stitching this one. Show you where I've got. You're going to be so proud of me. There it is. I got that much stitched. I literally am so proud of myself. So this was one of my kit days that I worked on this. So yay. And I'm okay with my realistic stitching. I think it's Stitching Scotty. She said, you know what, you will get it in time. She's like, I'm 76 years old. I have been through a lot of different phases of different crafts. She says, you're stitching, you'll get to it. Just enjoy the stitching. And I am. I'm thrilled. I'm not going to be one of them channels that gets some kind of crazy amount done because that's not where I'm at in my life. And I'm okay with that. So, all right. Next is, so I started my new job this week. I work for a pharmacy. I am a patient advocate. I love it. I love it. The biggest thing that I love is I don't have to leave the house for work. I just work from home or wherever I am. It is my jam. It is a gift from the Lord. Thank you, Lord. But my world has been so different this week. It has been amazing. So I was sitting watching TV with my hubby, and it hit me. A simple life is a peaceful life. Like, this week has just been so amazing. So I wanted to get to work on this piece. So I've had this one a while. You've seen what little bit of progress that I had on it. If you don't remember, go over and look at my whip parade that I just filmed last week. But I basically had this arch and just these tiny little tops of these fence. That's all that I had. So I sit down, and yesterday when we were watching TV, and I got a little bit done on the house. So this one is really fun because all of these rows go all the way across. They're going to be really quick to stitch. I'm trying to get the windows in. There's another set of windows and a door. And then get the bricks in. And then all of this will be just fill-in work. And then the roof is a pretty one color basic shape. So that will be a lot of fill-in work too. So I did work on this one. I think that this one is going to be another one that I work on when I go to StitchCon. So I'm going to get all of these outline things done so that I can just sit and not have to count and mess up counting and get it done. I also discovered that I have been using these for a long time. And the reason that I did is when I first started stitching, I had watched Jan Hicks create. She was in her camper. And she had a project, and it leaked around the window or something, and it ruined her piece. And it was a beautiful piece. I cried for her that it was ruined. And so I've always wanted a bag that's waterproof. However, it is really a pain in the rear to keep things on a Q-snap and actually get them in these bags. So any of these that I'm going to be leaving on the Q-snap to work on, I'm going to have to make me some new bags. I've got me some amazing, I went through this week, let me move you up and let you see. Got all my fabrics. No, I lie. This is not all my fabrics. I got a lot of my fabrics put on my shelf, fell in love with a lot of fabrics. I've got a lot of stuff pulled to the side and make me bags out of. I just gotta sit and stitch it. All right, next thing that I worked on is my patriotic ornaments. It's So Emma. This one is technically a finish because I got one done. So I was stitching this one. I have all of the tart pans to finish this. I showed you in my ornament parade my tree that I'm wanting to put them on. I want to get all of these done to be able to display them in June in my living room. So this one is the one that I was stitching. I am not doing all these big backgrounds. I'm just actually stitching the motif. So I finished it. So yay! That is technically a finish. It's one of the little ornaments. I didn't have it done. Finished it. And then I've started on, where is it at? This one right here. I'm almost done with it. I do not have but 12 stitches left and it will be finished. I'm not stitching again the background around it. I'm wanting to put the little gold things up in here. And that one is almost a finish too. So love it. And then I'm gonna have the task of getting all of these finished into their tart pans and on my tree. I will bring you guys along for that journey. All right, what else did I work on? Didn't work on that. Didn't work on that. Didn't work on that. Bear with me. Okay, the next thing that I worked on, my Lady of the Flag. That's another thing I gotta go in there and get and bring you. I made me some scroll frames this week. So the reason that I don't touch Lady of the Flag is A, it takes a lot of concentration. B, it was a pain in the rear to figure out what went where because I'm doing the green color conversion. C, I had everything in these bags. And for smaller projects, I love these. But I did not realize that when you are trying to stitch on a project that big, it takes extra time for you to pull this out and pull out it's so much easier if it's on a floss drop and I can just pull out one strand that I need. Well, then I got on this whole thing of I hate floss drops. I hate it. I cannot stand it when they're not the same size. I cannot stand it. I can't stand it. Like, I want it uniform. I want it uniform. So I was sitting down on my lunch break at home watching Flosstube, and I went back to one of Carrie with Tiger Lily Designs old videos, old videos. I think it was like 3 years ago. And she was sharing that she used playing cards to put her floss on. She said, you know, back then she did it for a budget-friendly reason. I'm all about budget-friendly because I want to retire and have money. I'm just saying. I don't want to have a ton of debt. So I'm like, you can get a bunch of playing cards for dirt cheap, and drum roll please, they are uniform. They are all the same size, and I love it. So what I did was I went through and blowed up my symbols, humongous like this, and I highlighted the ones that I was changing out. So her dress is supposed to be gold, and I did find the picture to show you guys. You should be so proud of me. So she's supposed to look like this, but for me, her dress is going to be green so that she, to me, looks like the Statue of Liberty. So I had to take all of those gold colors and convert them over using, I have a conversion from Carol Kirkpatrick, and I think I got this on the Lady of the Flag Facebook group. They had it in the files and you could download it. So I marked through, highlighted the ones that I'm taking away, marked through what the replacement color is. And then I went through and put all of the symbols on the card. I put if it was replacing a gold color, what it would have been, and then actually what the color is up here. So every one of these have the symbols and stuff on it, and it has the number. I don't like it when patterns are very close. Like there is a heart and then there's a filled in heart. So on both of the cards, I just put in there that there's close symbols just to remind me, double check your symbol before you actually pull off your floss. So everything is pre-cut and colored. I think there is 7 or 8 colors that I did not have in the kit, and I didn't even realize it. So putting them on here like this helped me realize it. So I got all of that done. I'm very pleased with that. Just a few more that I need to get on there. And the fabric is Primitive Hair, We the People. That is that Constitution fabric. I'm doing it on 14 count AF. So I have got her on a homemade scroll frame. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to run go get it really quick, and I'm going to show you. Hang on. Okay, I got it. So this was another video. I did a lot of Flosstube watching while I was stitching and not commuting this week for work. So this is a homemade scroll frame bar. I used, I like the square because it feels to me like it keeps it tighter. I do have to cut a board that goes in here. It makes it tighten down quicker because it's not as tight as I like it. I like it to be very tight. And then I have got to put my side tensioners on it. However, this is so much easier for me to work on than trying to fool around and figure out where I'm at with the Q-snap. So I will also make me some pretty big containers to be able to tote this around and keep it protected. But this one is going to say set up on my table in my sewing room, so that this will be another one that I'm going to try to put in at least a thread a day. And probably try to get a couple of hours done on the weekend. I really want this one done. I've had it going for several years. I want it hanging on my wall. So really excited. The video, I will try to find it and link it below in the description. It will not be on there as soon as this video uploads because I will have to go back and rewatch it and remind myself to do it because that's how I roll. But her thing, she uses round ones, and I will end up putting this one on round ones when I go to bead it so that it doesn't damage the beads by it being square like this. That's a whole nother thing. I'll share that when I get to it, but I love it. I was able to make, so the 1-inch dowel rods that I got and all of the stuff to make everything with, of course you have to have some tools to put it together, but I was able to make 4 scroll rods that are 36 inches long. Now I did cut down one of them so far. This one is the full 36 inches. But for Kringles, I made a smaller one. I think this one is 26 inches. But I'm going to put all of my big projects on one of these and store it like this so that I can really get some progress on it. Again, it's not finished. I've got to get the board cut that goes in the middle that really tightens it. And then I will show you next week how amazingly tight they are. Her video is awesome. It doesn't slip when you get it tight. It stays tight. Kringles does not have beads, so this one will be perfectly fine with the 1 inch. Whenever I drilled the holes in these, I did really sand them. I did not stain them. I did not put polyurethane on it just to keep it, you know, clean. I put felt up next to the wood where it was wrapped around it just to protect it again and keep it safe. But I love this. This is going to be set up on a stand and stay in my sewing room so that I can come in here and stitch. And now that my threads are like this, just pull a thread off and roll. I really think I will get a whole lot more work done on it. I'm in the process of designing a floor stand that I like. I'm sorry, and I know there's a lot of work goes into building a floor stand, but I'm not paying all of that money for a floor stand whenever I have the tools and I have the ability to build things, so I'm going to build my own. So that is coming. All right, is that all I stitched on this week? Let me be sure. Play Jeopardy music in your head. Oh no, I stitched on this one too. So this one is Crab Dance. I stitched on it this week. There's what it'll look like. I really am loving the getting some stitches in so that you can take it places and do fill in. I took this to my son's dentist appointment and stitched in the dentist. So I got this whole side finished, I got the greenery done, and I got these crab legs done. So I got some work on it too. This is another one I'm trying to do a thread a day in. Sorry you're shaking. To get it done, because I want to get this one done too. I have got a bee in my bonnet to get this stuff done and out, and I've just enjoyed it. It's not been a chore this week. I've not been dreading stitching. I've been really excited to sit down, and the thread a day one is enough to really get me started to, you know, mojo. And then when it comes, okay, which project am I supposed to stitch on because of what day of the week it is, I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to stitch. I think that is all that I have got to show you. I will say that I have been designing some cross stitch patterns. The first pattern that I designed, it was a freebie that I gave away, and then I gave away a couple of little ones on my YouTube channel back at Christmas a couple of years ago. There's 12 of them. I did a design for the Barefoot Needle Art mystery box last year in October. The box sold out. I was really thrilled to be a part of it. And then I have actually designed some things and had them stitched. I've just not finished the piece and released it. I have got 3 pieces that I have stitched and not finished and not released. So I love to design. I've got a master's degree in visual communication design. I have got books on Amazon. I've done comic books. I'm authoring a book right now. It's right up my alley. I love it. So I've got some things I'm going to be coming out with soon, just because it's my joy to do it and I want it in my house. So I'll create a pattern to share with you guys. Like I shared on the last time, I don't want to turn this into a buying channel. I want this to stay for the love of stitching. But when I do create something, I'll be able to share it with you guys. So I think that is it. The only other thing is I made a rolling table. Oh my gosh. Oh. I love it. So I put my stitching room in with my office. It's amazing. And so my rolling table, my cutting table, it's fantastic. I've really had a great week. It's been a phenomenal week. So much fun. Just a great week. As far as life updates, really nothing much to share other than I've got it. I think I've shared in my whip parade or my last video. I've got a kiddo graduating Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. He's homeschooled, so he'll be through with integrated testing. We're going to have a little party for him. And then I've got my middle son's birthday coming up. We just registered with him having his immunodeficiency. He has a group that gets together, and kids that are like him get together. It's really good for him to be around kids who have some of the same struggles in life that he does. So we're registered to go to that event. It's going to be so much fun. Love to be a part of that. And then now that I work for a pharmacy that does those medications, it will be really awesome to be able to meet with some of those families as well. First week on the job is just great. I love it. I have worked for some pretty harsh managers in the past, and my new manager is amazing. We had the conversation before I started working, about micromanagement. I don't like it. I'm an adult and I will do my job and I will get it done. And she's like, fantastic. That's what I want to hear. So come Monday morning, she says, this is what I need for you to do this week. Let me know when it's done. And I got it done. And so now she's like, okay, I'll be back in touch Thursday for your next thing of what I need done. And so it's just great. I love it. I'm blessed. So the new job is going fantastic. I think that's it. Just been creating. I think I'm gonna create some more. I'm gonna sew some bags this week, do some stitching. I have uncovered a lot of my sewing projects like quilts and stuff like that I had been working on in the past and just not ever finished. I have got them in my IKEA set of drawers over here so that I can go through the projects and get those ticked off. So I'll be doing a little bit of that too. Might start incorporating a little bit of my quilt and stuff. We'll see. But that's it. So I will see you guys next week. We'll see what we get stitched on. And I hope you have a blessed week. Thanks again for coming and doing this Flosstube with me, for watching what I'm stitching on. I really do appreciate it. Love you guys. I will see you next week.